Welcome back to another episode of the Right Bros. We are glad to be here today to talk to you about some really important things that's happening across the state of Louisiana and nationwide. But first, we have Coy and Gabe, but we're missing someone. Last time we were missing Gabe, now we're missing Justin. Where is Justin? Have you ever seen that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh, Justin, where art thou? Now, I think Justin's probably in the corner in the fetal position crying after the horrific LSU baseball game last night with Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that. Let's not discuss LSU baseball because they this is the worst I've seen them in a decade.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh,
terrible.
absolutely.
I have a feeling that he's somewhere on a boat, probably drinking his sorrows away. That's what I would. That's what I would assume.
And
Right.
not trying to drown himself.
Yeah, yeah. Either trying to. He's probably like 5 miles off the Gulf right now. I think he got swept away with the BLM rioters. They took him in a little van, a little BLM
Oh
van they
yeah,
brought over. They probably caught him.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that van.
Yeah, a little van right there.
What's
Yeah,
it?
a
What's
little.
it say on there? What's it
It
say?
says "We got us," and it says "Love, Joy, and Power" on top of the van.
Oh,
Um, if you just ship in people to protest, you know you're already losing.
Yeah. So we've got a lot to talk about. So Justin, we miss you, brother. We miss having you here, but as I said episodes before, there are going to be times where I'm not going to be here. Gabe hadn't been here. Coy's not going to be here. So we're going to make work with whatever we can. But it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. We had the ruling on Calais, which actually came a little bit too late in my opinion. I think it should have come out earlier. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what went down this past Friday at the state capitol in the Senate hearing. And so we're going to start off with this Calais stuff. Man, we knew that this was going to be big, but did y'all realize? Did y'all think the response that's happened to it across the country would have happened?
yeah. I mean, I think it's a pretty typical response. Anytime you are dealing with anything to do with race, whether it's right or wrong, there's going to be a response, an elevated response. I would say a manipulated response in regard to this stuff, because the decision was clearly the right decision to make. It was the right call. You should never draw lines based on race. I mean, that should be the last thing you do. If you want to do party affiliation, if you want to do voting, tendencies, that's fine. But to draw it solely based on percentages of race is wrong because no one race is monolithic in
Right.
regard to how they vote, and I think that's inherently a racist statement to think that.
I just find it iconic that the Democrats decide the party that they claim to be Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all these people who fought for these civil rights to be equal, they want to separate themselves in the purely race-based districts, which I think is ridiculous. Because it's like you separate yourselves by race and districts. That's literally segregation. They want to do that. You fought so hard. Your ancestors fought so hard to get to this point, and here you are trying to reverse what they fought for.
Well, I mean, this they're saying, and the rhetoric around this has been absolutely asinine, because they're saying, people of color are going to lose their voting rights. They're going to lose freedoms. No, what this does is it says, I'm sorry, you can't gerrymander a district based on race. Because if you can remember in Louisiana, that 6th district that who carved out for Cleo Fields, it looks like a snake. And Coy's in the Baton Rouge area. I'm in Shreveport. Literally, the 6th district is almost across the street from me. I'm in the 4th, Mike Johnson's district. The 6th district is almost right across the street from me. I can walk into it. There is Shreveport and Baton Rouge has nothing in common. As someone who's lived in Shreveport his entire life, has been going to Baton Rouge how many times over the last 6 years, 6.5 years? There's nothing in common. So there is no commonality between them, and the maps did not make sense. And cutting out Garrett Graves, and for whatever the reasons were, which we know the political reasons behind it, was nothing more than. And this is what I don't get. Why do we as Republicans always cater to Cleo Fields. We did this before in the 90s. We got him in Congress. When he was elected to the state Senate, he got a Senate chairmanship and the Republicans were in charge. He has always had some type of sway or hold over Republicans that I just cannot grasp or understand.
I mean, it goes back to Edwin Edwards and all the way down to today. I mean, it is pretty bizarre that they've done this. But going back on the ruling a little bit, I mean, the timing of it all. I mean, April 27th is when it came down. I remember because I was right across the Capitol on RPEC Day. I mean, obviously, as everyone knows, I'm doing Larry Davis's race, which we're in that 6th district. So early voting was literally about to happen that Saturday, and
a day away. It was a day away.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if there was a possibility it gets changed now, or if they keep it this cycle. It was a crazy kind of 72 hours to kind of figure out what was going to happen. And ultimately, they decided, which I kind of had a feeling they would, because President Trump was going to put pressure to do so. Because as everyone knows, in my opinion, is we're going to lose the midterms. So they're trying to get as many seats in as possible. But it has nothing to do with white or black seats, right? It's about demographics of Republican seats. That's what they're trying to change. They're not trying to get black people out of office. They're trying to get Democrats out of office. That's the goal.
Well, look in Tennessee. Memphis, they have that little district cut out for Memphis.
Yep.
And it's represented by a white liberal man. And now the way it's going to be has been redrawn, and that's been another boondoggle. It's going to be represented by a black Republican woman, and they're trying to say that they're trying to cut black people out. I think with electing a smart and intelligent woman, that is going to be the best thing for Congress, for Republicans. She is smart. The more I've read up on this lady, she is extremely intelligent, and I think she's going to be a real asset in the House of Representatives as a Republican. I just don't get it. Gabe, as our token person of color, I guess we can say, what is your opinion on that?
Hey, how was your Cinco de Mayo, by the way? Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, Cinco de Mayo debrief. And thanks, guys. I'll be accepting $1 Venmo donations for reparations, and it'll go towards my tequila funding. So y'all can send that to my Venmo. Comment on Facebook if you want that. But I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, like I said, they're using race as just a weapon. They really don't care about the race. I mean, you see the district in Memphis, Tennessee. It literally is a white Democrat versus a black Republican. They don't care about the races, whether if you're a donkey or an elephant at this point, And it's ridiculous. It's like, stop trying to weaponize race, sex, gender, sexuality. Like, it's so overplayed now, it's not even worth it. It's 2026. Maybe back in 2020, it was more like, oh, yeah, like, it's a big deal. But, like, it's so overplayed now, it's like, it's not going to work anymore. We're tired of it. The Republicans are tired of it. You say it so many times, it's like a bully, right? If someone calls you fat so many times or calls me Mexican so many times, for example, it doesn't even bother me no more. And it's like, we need to grow up, as all of us. It's like, we need to grow up and realize, okay, we need to stop playing the race card and actually start playing, okay, what's the real representation of these people? What needs to be represented in these districts the proper way, instead of based off race.
By the way, Gabe, just letting you know, because I get the fat jokes. I'm down 12 pounds, son, so I'm just letting you know.
Hey, that was towards me. I've been getting some weight recently. Got to get straight up for the beach a little bit. The bush apple craze got me caught up. So.
So if you drink a bush apple, does that count as eating a piece of fruit?
Hey, apple.
Water and fruit, actually.
I know, and it has all sorts of. So anyway, but going back. Yeah, I've lost 12 pounds. I've been hardcore dieting and exercising.
Good deal.
Clothes are fitting looser, and I absolutely love it. So when he said that, making the fat jokes, see, I can change my weight. Gabe.
Right.
And
I can't change my skin color.
You can't change that. But anyway, there's that ruling is going to change. And Coy, I don't know if we have states that are willing to make the changes now, and it looks like they are. I don't know if it's going to be. I still am not. Before this ruling, I was unsure. Now, I don't know. I don't know if Republicans.
Well, that was my point. Is that the reason why they wanted to get these lines redrawn immediately is so that way they can secure a win in the midterms.
Could y'all imagine Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House?
Oh,
That's
it'd be
ridiculous.
awful.
Dollar Tree Obama.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
So I
Um,
mean,
but yeah, no, it's been a confusing time. I mean, the elections were canceled here, the congressional elections only. So we're still having our Senate races. We still have our Supreme Court race going on.
Public Service
And
Commissioner.
it's caused, I will say this about, our party. It's caused a lot of confusion. We have not been very transparent on what's actually going on here, because you look at early voting tallies. Early voting ended yesterday. It was abysmal. I mean, you're looking at probably like 8%, 9% early voting
And that's the way to. Well,
turnout.
it was a lot of confusion
Yeah,
because
well, that's what I'm saying.
people
It's
came up
like
to me
people
going, "Is
thought
the
the
election
elections were
canceled
completely canceled.
altogether?" Yeah, it's like election canceled altogether. I'm like, no, still go
Hmm.
vote.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this decision will unilaterally affect the rest of the races as well. I mean, you look at who benefits from a lower turnout in these races in the regard to Senate and Supreme Court.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. I think you're going to have to go dive deeper into the data and see parish by parish who actually showed up to turn out more in each parish to dictate that. But just a lot of confusion, a lot of emotion being thrown around, and so it's been pretty crazy past week and a half or so.
Speaking real quickly of the Senate race, did anybody catch the debate between Congresswoman Letlow and Treasurer Fleming? Did
Oh,
anyone catch that?
I
I will
watched
tell
all
you
of that.
that Moon did a very good job moderating that. I think that was probably the best political debate I have ever seen in my life. Moon Griffon, who we've had on the show, who's a friend,
Hmm.
did such a phenomenal job. I texted him afterwards. Him and Jeff Bindfor from up here, they did it. They asked really important questions. They didn't ask the stupid fluff like you saw in the L.A. mayor's race. What movie? What movie are you watching now? All that. No one cares. We want to know what you want to do for us. And there was a lot of great questions that
Yeah,
Moon asked, and I think you got to really see each candidate as they truly are, and they got to answer tough questions. It wasn't just this little softball question. It was real, thought-provoking, tough questions. And if you're going to represent my state, you got to answer the tough questions.
absolutely. I think it was very interesting to watch. I think Congresswoman Litlow did as good of a job as she could possibly
mm,
do. Um,
That's a
in my
tough one for
opinion,
her.
it is because she's not used to debating, right? She's not done it before, um, which you can have your own opinion whether you think that's a good thing or not. But I do think that to the best of her ability, she did about as good of a job as she did. But you're going against a seasoned guy in Fleming, right? Who's done this for many, many years now, and it showed. He was very calm, cool, collected, and whoever you think won the debate, um, you know, it definitely was a very interesting watch for sure.
Yeah, no, it was great. I was sitting at work listening to it in the background. I had my earbuds in, doing some reports and listening to it, and it was great. So Moon, I know you watch us because he does tell me he does watch us because I send him the links sometimes. You did a great job, brother. We appreciate your willingness to do that, put that on, and I appreciate both. Two of the three candidates showed up. Where was Bill?
right. Where was
Where was
Bill?
Bill?
He was
So
afraid to step into enemy
no,
territory. He knew
Right.
exactly what he was about to get.
Right. Fleming
I
and
think
Letlow would have teared him up. They would
Oh,
have.
I think that
Yeah,
absolutely.
debate
they
would have
would have
been
ate him.
different if he was there.
It would definitely
It
would
wouldn't
have
even be
been.
a debate anymore. It would just be like straight up just two candidates roasting the one guy. They're just getting up on him, just make him just even degraded more as he is now.
Yeah, it
So
definitely. I
that
mean,
would
to
have been
me,
a
at this
fun one.
point, it definitely is a two-horse race. I don't see where, being honest, I don't see where Cassie makes a runoff at this point.
No.
But we'll see. Again, like I said, the low turnout
Turnout,
is
turnout, turnout.
it's everything in an election.
Right.
So it just depends on who goes and votes.
Yeah, it's going to be the get out
Yeah.
the vote game. Whoever has the best. So moving on to what happened. So we're going to let our esteemed brother Coy take this because as you'll see in some of the videos, he was there Friday in the Senate committee when they started talking about the maps and the redistricting. So Coy, give us your insight as a person who is sitting on the second row.
Hmm. Yeah, I was sitting in the second row committee with Larry Davis, who is actually, currently going to run for Congress. We're trying to still figure out which district he will be in, but he is going to run. Um, but he was also going to testify on one of these bills that Morris had in regard to redistricting, mainly because he wanted to give his testimony of what he thinks about race and what he thinks about conservative values. So that's why we were there. It was a packed room filled with, a mainly democratically filled room. A lot of people amped up, ready to share their voice, and it turned into something that I've never seen before, and I've never been more disappointed in the temperature of the room and the decorum that was shown by our fellow senators. It was a shame, and Larry and I actually ended up having to leave right after, actually not long after this heated moment you're about to see, because we felt unsafe. I mean, we genuinely felt unsafe. If we were to give our statement, who knows what would have happened. I mean, you can't even give an opposing statement nowadays without hands about to get thrown. So we ended up leaving, but we saw all of this. Every time it got heated, we saw it. So it was quite interesting, and I'll give more of an analysis as we go on.
Gabe, go ahead and play the video.
Yeah, we'll play the clip. So, as Coy said, he is in this clip, so we'll pause when we see him, and we'll give a shout out. But
or laugh.
Give context in this clip right here before I play it. What is
happening? So Senator Morris is presenting all three of his redistricting bills. So basically, he's giving all three of his proposed maps, which is nothing cemented in that, right? So they can do amendments on amendments on amendments to change things and redraw the maps. But he's just presenting the three that he had initially drawn before the session started. And then Senator Carter, who happens to be Congressman Troy Carter's nephew, by the way. So let's keep that in mind whenever he talks about race and stuff like that. Why he's getting really mad because possibly his uncle is about to get drawn out. Maybe let's just think about that. Self-interest here, maybe. But he is questioning Senator Morris about him being racist over and over and over again by some of the bills that Senator Morris has already put out to essentially get rid of one of the clerks of courts in New Orleans. And he just keeps hounding him and hounding him and hounding him. And, Senator Morris is fed up, obviously, whenever you're called racist a million times, and all I can say is, no, I'm not. I don't know what else to say, and so it just led up into this moment.
I'm not trying to make suggestions about your voice. We'll talk about your voice. I don't want to recess. I already took a recess. You are no different than the senator than I am. And you are no different than put my microphone back on. My microphone, he suggested he's not racist. I said we take a look at his work. You're out of line. I know who you're talking to, sir. You're going to ask us and not address that? All right. Don't worry. I'm not testing. Order. Down now. He came to us. I didn't see him. I'm just trying to have this. You understand? You understand? We will have a decorum. He told us to shut up, Chairman. Okay, you understand. We will have one.
And you can hear that in the background, the people chanting. What were they chanting?
Not long.
Let him speak.
Let him speak. Right. And not long after that, they tried to barge through the doors to fight. So. And
then they shut it down. They start screaming, "Shut it down!" Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, look at that man, two men right there.
Right there, that's the future of Louisiana right there.
Me and Larry Davis sitting right there.
In the crowd of sin, whiteness still shows, and those two men are right there representing and fighting.
That's it.
Well,
that's
it.
What you see here, but look at the temperature across the country. Anytime you see a congressional or a Senate hearing, this is exactly how Democrats act. They act like children who get called out. They take their ball and they go home, or they try to disrupt the process. And this is typical behavior of the modern era Democrats. They are wanting to disturb the entire process. Democrats are trying to. I don't even know. I have no words for what we're seeing here, because this doesn't happen in Louisiana. This is new to us. We've had heated moments, but in my time in politics, which is longer than my brother's here, I have never once seen that a day in my life. And it's ridiculous, and it's not how we act as Louisianans. You can disagree without being disagreeable, and we've got to be able to get back to that.
And it's what's really sad is, like, as y'all saw at the end, Senator Morris turned around and told them, y'all need to shut up. But they're painting the narrative that he said, you need to shut up, boy. Looking at the black gentleman in the front row, who happens to be the leader of the Democrat Party of Louisiana, by the way. He did not say that. He unequivocally did not say boy. Okay, I can tell you that with 1,000. I will sign an affidavit. I know he did not say that. He said, y'all need to shut up back here. That's what he said, and then he left. And then you had people trying to barge in. You had this. This was the hallway the entire time, by the way. It doesn't look very up to fire safety code to me, but it was very crowded, very, very much crowded.
Where was state police?
So they were scattered around, all around the corners, but there was maybe like 6 or 7 state officers there. It was not well done at all. The safety that people of opposing views felt. There was no. I mean, yeah, you could go to the end there, Gabe.
I'll just play it throughout. Y'all can talk.
Okay.
But
I mean,
it's crazy. Like people, like these are people who are quote like protesting, and what are they doing right there? It's a photo op for them. They're not there to fight. Well, they're there to say, look at me, I'm doing good for the community. The moment the picture, they're done. They're just and I'm pretty sure this is a elected official too.
Oh, it is.
It's elected official. Yeah. And they're just taking pictures and
here, I think that's when they're screaming, "Shut it down! Shut it!" They were even trying to shut the meeting.
Shut it down!
There you go.
Shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
This will go crazy right there.
But yet, on January 6th, it was an insurrection, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If Republicans did this would be wide national. This would be on every headliner in America. This is Republicans doing this.
Yep.
The hypocrisy is crazy.
That's all this is hypocrisy, Gabe.
Yep.
I mean, where is the Senate and House leadership? Where is their sergeant at arms to break this stuff up?
Listen to this. So the sergeant at arms. The sergeant at arms
this would be a nightmare if there was a fire in that building.
Absolutely. The sergeant at arms was allowing people like Gary Chambers and other people that were in that room to come through the side doors. Representatives, the House reps in the Senate floor, were taking people from that hallway through the side door. That is against Senate policy. You are not supposed to do that.
Who's president of the Senate again?
Cameron Henry.
You think he'll do anything about that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Of course.
No. Yeah. This is when they were trying to barge in afterwards.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this is what politics have gotten to.
It was the most asinine thing I've seen in my 26 years of being on this earth, in person. It was just such a disgrace. You know, you think of politics as being this respectful game, or it gets heated at times, but never that. It never is supposed to get to that.
Well, Well, I
And
mean,
it's because, and I want to say that because I was in that committee room and I heard from the four congressmen, Cleo Fields, Troy Carter, and the former two congressmen were all there. Um, they're focusing this thing based on race, which on its head, the Supreme Court, that shouldn't even be a conversation now because they threw that out. So your basis of conversation just doesn't matter anymore, and it shouldn't matter anymore. But they're only focusing on that to be hyperbolic and to make their people emotional. And the people that don't know anything about politics hear these things that they're taking away my rights. Let's say the people that don't follow politics. I know plenty of people that don't know anything that's going on. But if they hear from their elected officials that their rights are being taken away because of their race, yeah, I get the reaction. But it's just not the case. It's the elected officials wanting to keep that emotional fire up in order to stir their own agenda, in order to keep them exactly where they are.
what's a power
They don't
thing?
want them to rise up. They don't want them to rise up because then they would lose their power.
It's all a power thing, Coy. Because
Yes.
what you're seeing here is you're seeing Democrats across the country losing their power because they know once these maps change, there's about 70 districts that are based specifically on race that are no longer allowed to be that way. Now, Louisiana is the only one that had a mandate to have to change theirs. Now, but going forward, you're going to start seeing lawsuits on these other ones, and you're going to start seeing those 70 seats change.
Yep.
And you're going to see there's going to be a lot more competitive races for Republicans. And so with that, what we just witnessed is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Because if you had Republicans doing that, you'd have had CNN. It would have been called an insurrection. You'd seen people back during 2020. We had a Democrat governor. People were protesting the mask mandates, protesting the shutdowns, and they had the police, Capitol Police, called on them and escorted out. So what's different now? What's different now?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's really a shame. And another thing I want to get to too is like this idea that Senator Carter kept throwing out there that, essentially the Joe Biden quote is that you ain't black if you don't vote Democrat. That's what he was saying behind the veil of fancy words, essentially. And that is just completely wrong. The idea that if there is a redistricting happening, let's say we get a 5-1 map, and Democrats still have one of those districts, right? Black people in Democrats can still vote for who they want to vote for. They may not win, but that's a turnout issue, in my opinion, because how many times have we talked about low turnout in Louisiana? It's because that people have gotten so apathetic for the people that are on their ballots. There is no person that drives them to go want to vote for you. Yeah. So we're saying that it's a race issue, and we're saying that it's solely to do with black representation. But if that black representation is only getting 15% of the vote, what's the other 85% believe? So are they actually getting represented? Or is it really just the small minority of people that still go and vote, and that those people aren't apathetic or are for an agenda? Yes. That's the problem.
Yeah, what you're seeing is, well, let's just go back to what we've seen over the past 2 years now, I guess, is how many times you're going to hear them call President Trump a Nazi, and then he's trying to take freedoms away, and then he's never going to leave office, and blah, 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 all this stuff. And then they want to act all shocked when people try to kill the man. It's the same thing. We've been going through this now since 2016, and this is the rhetoric. Republicans want to take your rights away. It first started with the Hobbs decision with abortion, sending it back to the states to be a state right issue. It was women are going to die in the street. Gays will no longer be married. Women are going to lose their health care. It's going to be like Handmaid's Tale. Women are going to be stuck in the kitchen and not being able to work. All this hyperbolic stuff. Here it is. It was in 2022. Here it is, 2026. Almost to the date. Nothing has changed. States that are blue, you can still go and get an abortion. Even though, me personally, I am for no exceptions in abortion. I don't believe in any exceptions. It's 1,000% murder, and anyone who performs it, and anyone who has it, I hope and pray that they seek God's forgiveness, because on Judgment Day they're going to have to make an account for that. But it never happened, and so you had all these people who I knew, who I went to school with, who were women, posting on Facebook, "I've just lost all my rights. I'm never going to be able to vote. I ain't going to be able to do this. I'm all this other stuff." And here it is. Nothing has changed. Nothing's different. You just can't go and murder your baby. That's all you can't do. And to me, kudos to that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
It's the fear mongering that keeps these people insane. That's the thing. People, like, don't get me wrong. We love the media. Social media is great. Those people who live social media, like, they live off it every day, that rewires your entire mindset. That rewires the entire brain to that the moment they see something, they immediately freak out and they don't know how to act. Like TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. That's a real thing. You mention the word Trump to them, they freak the hell out. It's ridiculous. And it's like, and like you said, Parker, it's this whole like, oh, I don't have rights no more. What rights have been taken away? You are convincing yourself. If you think of something if you think something is true over and over and over, it becomes true in your head. In reality, the people around you, it's not happening. Go outside, get off your phone, and look around, see what's happening. None of that is happening. We're not in a socialist country. We're not, following rules. A dictator. We're not. Trump is president.
Well, and that's what gets me too. Is like the language in that room was essentially like all that matters for representation is that it's a black man in Congress. That's all that matters. So essentially, what they were saying is that that's all they want. They don't even need resources to come back to their district. That doesn't matter to them. That's not. So you're rewriting what congressmen are supposed to do solely because of the color of their skin? That is racist.
Right. Right. And that's the thing. It's so racist. It's ridiculous. And it's like, what has Cleo Fields done? Hasn't Cleo Fields the top 3 worst inside traders in Capitol Hill?
Oh yeah, he's made millions of dollars off the back of his
He made millions in his own pocket. What has he brought back into the 6th district?
Well,
Freeport is still shitty. Baton Rouge is still crime-ridden. These cities are crime-ridden. These blue.
Look at the road.
Districts.
Look at the interstates. Federal interstates.
It's terrible.
I mean,
ridiculous.
And even Troy Carter. Troy Carter's been representing New Orleans for how long now? That has not gotten better at all.
No. What you're seeing now is Democrats who are scared because they know they're going to lose their power. They're losing their power. It's going to make it hard for them to have a majority. That's what it is. And they know that if they don't fight it now, it's going to be hard for them to get a majority in the House. They're actually going to have to be competitive, and they're going to have to stop this woke malarkey because people don't want it. People are against it. And you're starting to see less and less of this woke stuff. So these fringe, lunatic, liberal morons who are on the left who are saying, women could be men could be women. No. If you want to believe in the science, and how many times did we hear that during the COVID lockdown? Believe the science. You can't change your gender. You're born with the gender. You can't change it. Yeah. You can make yourself look like the other gender, but that doesn't mean that you are. And I am not going to get wrapped up in your fairy tale, because that's what it is. Kids grow out of fairy tales and stop being the prince and princess or whatever, and you get into reality. Okay, I'm a man. I got to go to work. I got to provide for my family. That's my role. I know that's my role. And it's a biblical role, and I can already hear it now. Oh, you're a sexist. No, it's what the Bible says. It is the man's job to be the provider for his family. It's the man's job to be the protector for his family. And not anyone else, I am the only one that can provide for my household. I am the only one that can provide protection for my household. Now, you can share equal parts of it, but ultimately, it's my responsibility. So we're going to hear all this going forward over the next couple of weeks. We're going to hear the words, we're going to see, like Morris, Senator Morris, he's a racist. We're going to hear that. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear that we're sexist. We're going to hear that we're bigots. We're going to hear that we're homophobes. At this point, I've been called...
It's like I said earlier. You say it so much, it has no impact on us anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's where, I do want to give people a little update that, Larry Davis will be making a statement about this pretty soon with other officials around the state and or candidates, black candidates that are Republican, by the way. They do exist. And it's going to be very interesting to see the Democrats' response to what he says, because I guarantee you he will be called an Uncle Tom and he will be called all these names, because it's not, again, it has nothing to do with the color of his skin.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with the content of what he is saying. That is what they are against, because he is a black man, and by their criteria on Friday, they should be way willing to have him represent the 6th district, that Cleo Fields district. But do you think they would? Absolutely not. They would be so upset. That tells me it's not about race. It has nothing to do with race. Just watch and see what they say about Larry Davis's statement. I guarantee you they will call him these things.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Well, I have another clip I want to play. This is from the Tennessee State Capitol on
I've
May
seen all those
6th.
too.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, it's not happening just Louisiana, folks. It's happening all across the South, really. It's really happening.
Seems orchestrated.
Let's get to that, right? It's this whole BLM movement. And because, I have a picture, not on hand. You saw it from earlier from the poorly resoluted picture on my phone. They have those vans out there, the BLM travel vans, so you bring people out. And that's the thing I'm really curious about. The people there protesting, where are they from? What states are they truly from? Are the people there actually from the state that they're fighting for?
We had a couple people from Illinois on Friday.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why are people... You're right.
They have no right to say what we do in Louisiana. Why
Right.
don't you go back to
There are
your
a couple people from Illinois.
state?
We talked to them.
Yeah.
It's
They should have been
ridiculous.
arrested and put in prison because they don't live here. You don't vote here. So guess what? Your opinion on what... Point to me on a map where you live in Louisiana. If it's not in Louisiana, your opinion means nothing. Absolutely nothing to me.
No Jim Crow maps, which is interesting because they're fighting
Isn't that done
for
by
race-based...
Democrats?
They're fighting for race-based districts, but then they're saying no Jim Crow maps, which is...
And they're about to get represented by a black Republican, yeah?
Right.
Well, the thing is how can they claim Jim Crow when the Democrats were the ones that did it?
Right. If you look in this room right here, how many black people are there in this little crowd right here?
Well, look at how many... Did they let the nursing home van off right in front of the Capitol?
Yeah. Like,
That is pretty pathetic.
you have a bunch of old people, ladies.
This
It's a bunch of white people. They're protesting these.
This is the product of Woodstock, of all that whole hippie movement. This is the product of it. These hippies that were at Woodstock back in the 60s, they're now here doing this because we never told them no.
Jesus, I mean, look at these Democrats. It's just like,
Huh.
I don't know how people can live like that. They're just weirdos. This reality of it. These people, I'm not saying they were Democrats. I'm saying these radical leftists.
Well, but it goes back to your point, Gabe, about the structure of social media. They see something that somebody posts and they just automatically believe it's true. They don't even they don't do the research. They don't look up. You want to talk about, whenever we talk about on this show about uneducated voters, this is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The ones that believe TikTok and everything they see. And
That's exactly right. They have no structure or function to go look things up themselves. And I'm talking about a myriad of different news articles to find out what is actually true and what is not. Because as you know, there are a lot of news stations that are biased one way or the other. So you have to kind of look at everything to find the truth. But anyway, that is what that uneducated voters looks like. Absolutely.
I have changed my mind on certain things over the years. Most recently, something big, and it's because I did my own research, and I researched it. I mean,
it's vital. It's vital that you do that. I mean, there's so many things I'm wrong on, and
what's that sign? Racism
is in the effects. Which is and they get this guy wearing a Ukrainian flag. Why are we bringing foreign wars into a redistricting protest? Like, this guy, they had no idea. They just hear the word protest or a movement, and like, oh, let me just put whatever I
Let me go
want.
grab a Ukraine flag shirt.
Yeah, to the Tennessee State Capitol, because that's really going to make a difference.
Because
I want Ukrainians to be represented in
straights.
my Tennessee district. Like, holy moly. And
Look at the blue hair. Gosh.
Got the blue mohawk going on. We got, man.
You can point a liberal from a mile away.
And let's, if we would have put Republicans in this, if you would have had people in American flag T-shirts and a Trump flag going up the stairs of a Capitol building, it would have been called January 6th all over again. This would be labeled as insurrection.
Insurrection. That's what it would be labeled as.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're going inside the Capitol to chant and to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then it's like, all these people they're holding arms together. We might get hosed down. We might get like there's nothing there stopping them. They're pretending like they're making this as big, like they're pretending this is like a 1960s protest where there's riot people there and ready to put them. No one's there to stop them.
I'm pretty sure after this Calais decision, every race could still go and vote. Yeah.
Right.
Sure? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just make sure you have a voter ID, of course.
Just gotta make sure.
Right.
Well, here's one of my takes from this. We're seeing. Well, I mean. Has anyone seen the video that Nick Shirley, the guy that exposed the Somali stuff, fraud in Minnesota? Have y'all seen the video? I don't remember what state capitol he went to, but he was trying to walk up the steps of the state capitol, and they were trying to block him from going in and just talking to people. Because they don't want them because once you start asking them questions, because let's be honest, a lot of the people in those crowds are pretty much the dumbest people in the world, because if they believe everything they see on social media, you're pretty dumb. You're dumb.
Yeah.
And so you're dealing with some of the dumbest people on in the earth. He's asking them questions, and they don't even answer. Like someone said Trump was a dictator, and I think that's what he said. And he said, well, give us a ways that he was a dictator. Well, he just is. Well, give us an example of that. Or give us these examples, and they can't. And so they're trying to block out any opposition. It's a state ground. It's public property. You can't stop him from going in and having access, because that's his prerogative as an independent journalist to ask these questions.
And it goes back to like, how about the Democrats start running compelling candidates again?
Maybe we wouldn't have AOC.
Maybe so. Like that's the point to that about the turnout thing that I was saying is like people don't want to vote because there is nobody compelling to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, there's nothing exciting about Cleo Fields. There's nothing exciting about Troy Carter because they've done nothing for their district, and B, they're not actually representing the district that they're in. Because if they were, they would bring back resources. So it's just they have their lives changed in iota since they became in power. And the answer to that is no. No, it hasn't. But as long as they have a quote-unquote black man sitting up there, that's all that matters? Is that really what we've come down to? Really?
Well, I think this stops their plan. I think their plan was, and I think this stops it. They were trying to take control of the House. They were trying to take control of the Senate. And if they control the House, they control the Senate, and you can get the majority of votes, because there'd be some Republicans who would join in, like Markowski up in Alaska and these rhino Republicans. They could vote to remove Donald Trump. They could vote and remove J.D. Vance. And then guess who's president without a single vote cast? It would be Hakeem Jeffries. And then we would have to live 2 years of an unelected president who, honestly, I wouldn't recognize. I just wouldn't. You can call me an insurrectionist, whatever. I wouldn't recognize. If that's how Hakeem Jeffries, Dollar Tree, Timu Obama ever got to power, I would not recognize him as our leader because it wasn't legitimate. Not a single. I mean, look at what they did with Kamala Harris. Not a single primary vote cast, yet they made her the nominee. They stabbed Joe in the back. They put him down in a wheelchair with an ice cream cone and set him in the corner. And they installed. They didn't elect. They installed Kamala Harris. And this is their tactics. They're wanting Hakeem Jeffries to be president. And so they're not going to stop until they can get their people elected. And this stops that. Calais stops that. And this is why Democrats are having their base so wound up going to these states, because they know it's going to be it's a razor thin majority. And if just 5 seats, if you can change just 5 seats, which it looks like we are, Republicans can maintain control. So, I mean, I think that
as it currently stands right now, I think we do retain the House. I think the Senate's going to be close, but I do think we retain the House.
Right.
Because of this decision.
Yeah.
I really do.
And so it's just what we're seeing here is it's just hard to even put into words, because I remember living through BLM. Now, luckily in Shreveport, we had peaceful BLM protesters. And you know what? As a conservative and as a constitutionalist, I support your right to protest. I don't support your right to terrorize. I don't support your right to destroy property. I don't support your right to take, and it's not, these things are not rights, by the way, but I don't support your ability to harm others. If you want to stand on the side of a sidewalk and hold up a sign and do that, and you're peaceful about it, I will defend your right, because that is what the Constitution allows. It's freedom of speech, even when we disagree with it. But what we're seeing here, this isn't protest. This isn't civil disobedience.
No.
This is organized chaos. It's organized. It's an organized catastrophe, is what it is. And you got these organizations like BLM who's profiting off of this stuff. Because I bet you, if you look, the little Soros money is going around to these people to protest. Do y'all ever have time to protest? I'm too busy holding a job to go protest.
That's all I'm saying. I'm too busy flying or doing anything else.
Yeah, I just...
Ridiculous.
What's my little protest going to do? It's not going to stop
The
nothing.
only reason why I was there, because that is my job. So.
Right.
I wouldn't be there if
Parker, and Parker, what, add on to what you're saying, like, yeah, we support protests, but I believe after this incident in Louisiana, State Capitol, I think Morris started getting death threats, I think.
This is before this happened, he started getting death threats.
Right,
so I pray for that, man.
And Eccles was getting death threats.
Right.
Michael Eccles, yes. And we talked to him after this, and he's going to make sure that the house is a lot more secure when it goes on their side. So I just want to let everybody know that he's going to take the proper precautions, and we're very thankful for him for doing that. So.
And you can protest, but if you're making death threats to lawmakers, that's not American.
But look at Gabe. Look at what's happening with violence in this country. Look who is committing the violence? It's the radical left.
Right, the radical left. They feed off of that. They feed off of negativity. They love to beat down anybody that falls down.
Well, it's because anger is the most powerful weapon of all. Right. I mean, it is, and they wield it like it means nothing.
Right.
And whoever gets in their way, whatever like today, like on Friday, if somebody would have gotten hurt on Friday, they wouldn't have cared. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't have cared at all. They would have rather that, so it would go viral on the news probably.
Yep. And and back to radical leftists. I mean, you saw what happened at the correspondent dinner with Trump. Yeah. That whole ordeal.
Yep.
Assassination attempts on the president. You have death threats going to local state lawmakers. Like, the Democrats are not the party of the peace, as they can be.
Yeah, they're about the party of self-interest. Hence why Senator Carter was the main guy questioning things on Friday. Right. One of his family members about to get drawn out.
He's just mad because Unc's about to lose the seat.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Republicans, we fight the right way. We go through the law. We go through the proper procedures. And for the leftists, it's violence.
I protest at the ballot box.
Right, protest at the ballot box, and they'll protest with violence. It's ridiculous. I don't feel safe.
Yep.
No, I don't. You know, I have never once in my life, and y'all know me, I don't cower away. I don't, but I don't wear Republican stuff out anymore because I'm afraid of what could happen to me wearing a Republican elephant hat or a Trump hat or anything like that. I don't put political stuff in my car because they could key it. They could slash my tires. Wow. And that's a real ism that we're living in, is that they can't beat conservatives, so they try to scare them to silence it. And after Charlie Kirk, that horrible day, you saw a lot of these people who should be in mental institutions, and we need to bring that back, by the way, sitting here saying, this is what happens when you speak out. Conservatives, Republicans, MAGA, this is what happens to y'all, and y'all need to be scared. There's people on TikTok saying that, and God forbid TikTok takes that crap down. And
that's why we need to go to the polls and vote Republicans, because it's scary, because you saw what happened to Biden. So many right-wing media, like influencers, got censored on social media. And what's going to happen next time the Democrats taking power again? They're probably going to claim that MAGA is a hate group.
And that's what makes me laugh so much about these maps. Is like, you don't think the Democrats would flip it 6-0 their way in a heartbeat if they could?
Right.
I want a 6-0. I want a 6-0 map.
I want a 6-0 map as well.
I used to make the argument for New Orleans because I thought it was hard to do it, but after what I saw Friday, I want a 6-0 map because the Democrats would do it. Sit down, shut up, you're not in control. I'm angry. I'm so angry about what happened. This doesn't happen in Louisiana. This is not who we are. This is not what we do, and I am so aggravated. Please, call your representatives. Tell them that you don't like these maps. Perfectly fine. Do that. Committing chaos, trying to shut down a government meeting because you're angry about what the Supreme Court said, that's not how you handle it. That's not what we do, and that is not how to act civilly. You can disagree without being disagreeable, and we have to get back to that. And it just aggravates me because it's like I get so angry with that because I don't go protest. I don't scream and yell. If I have an issue with something in the legislature, you know what I do? I pick up and call my state senator. I pick up and call my state representative. I send them an email saying, hey, I disagree with this. You represent me. I want you to do what's right. That's how you handle it. You don't go and try to shut a meeting down because you disagree with it. And that's what Democrats want. They want chaos. Because when there's chaos, they get on the news and then they can spew their rhetoric.
That's exactly right. And
soapbox.
Let's be honest here. Like, there's not a whole lot that Senator Morris and Senator Kleinpeter can say back to those individuals. And it's because of the color of their skin. And it's sad whenever you can't talk to a man like you would any other man. Like when Senator Morris says, shut up. A fifth grade insult. And then they're calling it this whole racist ordeal. Like, it's just asinine. So you can't even say shut up anymore, and because of being white. And so I'm very excited. I'm very happy that we have a person like Larry Davis willing to step up and say the things that we believe in as conservatives, and we'll just see what they have to say about him. And you know, I imagine it's just going to be Uncle Tom.
Well, I mean, look at we're the executive director of the Louisiana Republican Party is a very dear friend to all of us. Corey Dennis is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. We've been talking about getting him on for a while and come hanging out with us. Corey, you got to do it. You got to quit giving excuses and got to come on with us. I'm calling you out right now, brother. But he's a black man. So the color of his skin has nothing to do with how he votes. He votes on what he believes. Larry votes on what he believes. And
Albert Guillory is over 80 years old and has been through way more than a lot of yeah. And he's a Republican, a staunch Republican at that, for many, many, many years. And so, like, to say that black people are only this one thing, that's actually racist. Like, that is, I would be mad if I was a black person and heard that.
Right. And it's not even race-based, it's just black-based. Like, what about Hispanics? What about Asians? What about Native Americans? That's race is all of that. White people. No, you're not fighting for all minorities. You're fighting for one group, which is quite literally segregation. You are reversing what y'all fought for years. And it goes back into the whole, like, even like college dorms, for example. Like, they want to have black-only dorms for themselves, have a safe space. What do you even call that? That's not safe. It's ridiculous. And the same things you see is happening to our districts now.
Well, the first Asian to ever represent Louisiana in Congress was Joseph Cowell, who was a Republican. So, I mean, the first African American governor of Louisiana was a Republican. The first African American senator in Congress from Louisiana, guess what? They were Republicans because they believed in the values of liberty. They believed in the values of freedom. And they want to say, oh, the Republican Party switched. No. Now, we did become more conservative on social issues. That's a fact. But on the basic human rights, we have been fighting for human rights as Republicans for as long as the Republican Party's been around. That's why the Republican Party was started, is because Abraham Lincoln and those groups were tired of seeing Democrats owning slaves. And that's why we as a country fought a civil war, is because we did not believe in this idea that one man can own another. You're in a country of freedom. You're in a country of liberty. And we do not have the right to own another individual. You as a person have the rights that I have. Everybody has the exact same rights as I have as a white man. I will never you will never get me to think otherwise. I try to get my thoughts together, and it's like I've got a billion things going. But the thing is that I don't want to see race relations in our country go back to where it was.
No. Because we're past that.
We have gone so far back because it's unreal, and it's because of power. Democrats want and crave power, and then they will do anything, and that includes trying to kill the President of the United States to get it. And that is why we're seeing all this stuff across the country, is because of power. They want power.
They genuinely don't care about you at all. No. They want to keep you with government assistance, because as long as you're in government assistance or you're relying on them for everything, you stay exactly where you are, and they stay exactly where they are.
Correct.
In power. And that's the whole point.
It's sad. I mean, like during the 2012 election, Barack Obama told business owners who built their business from the ground up, you didn't build that. Y'all remember that? Y'all may have been too young. It's 2012. You didn't build that. Someone else did that for you. That's the mentality of the Democratic Party, is if you're a business owner, you didn't build that. It's not you didn't do that. Someone else did that for you.
Well, they say the quiet part out loud. I said earlier today, the Joe Biden quote, "You ain't black if you don't vote Democrat." I would be extremely offended if I were to hear something like that.
Yep.
But they don't care.
No.
And I live through it every day as a Hispanic. I get called the race traitor as a Republican Hispanic because I'm for deportations of my own people, that I'm going to get deported myself. And it's ridiculous. Like, these people are like, oh, you're going to get deported one day. I'm not. I was born here. I got my documents. I got my birth certificate. I got my ID. If you're not from here, that's tough luck. I don't care if you're the same skin color and have the same facial structures as me and the same features. It doesn't matter.
It's what's right and what's wrong. And we have a rule of law, and we have to abide by those rules of law.
Exactly.
And it's the end of the story.
Exactly.
I want mass deportations.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm kind of upset with the administration because we're not deporting as much as I would like.
Oh, we've completely scaled back from that.
And I want to see deportations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it's a grandmother that's been here for 30 years. I'm sorry. Ma'am, you broke the law. You broke the law. Yeah. And you now need to go back home and try to do it the right way. And there's like, oh, the process is so hard. Yeah, the process should be hard. It is a privilege. Mm-hmm. And I view this as an American. It's a privilege to be an American. It's a privilege to be born on the greatest country ever built.
Yep.
We are a shining city on a hill, as Ronald Reagan said. And it's a privilege. And it's a privilege that few get. And if you want to come here, yes, it's tough. It's rigorous. And I've seen videos of these people who go through, they take the test, they do all the stuff, they do it legally, and they become a U.S. citizen. And you see the pride when they're given that American flag as a citizen. They place their hand over their heart and they say the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States. You see the immense pride that they have. And we as natural-born U.S. citizens, I think we take that for granted. because
Oh,
we've
without a
got to
doubt.
enjoy these free. Man, I've heard stories of people across the Middle East who have to hide to worship God. They have to hide because they believe in Jesus, because they know that if they go and they worship Christ, they're going to be put to death. We take that for granted. I went to church just this morning and was able to sit there and hear a beautiful sermon by Brother Wayne. Got to sing, got to pray together, got to participate in the communion, and I got to do so without fear. And not everyone has that, and it's we take that for granted. And so, yes, the process should be hard. It shouldn't be easy. We shouldn't open the doors to everyone, and
And
we
we
want
have
your
to,
best and brightest.
Well,
we
and
have to be
that's
strict
the thing
because,
that gets
sorry, go
me
ahead.
to. You're good, Gabe. Um, I was just going to say that we go back to we moved past this race thing, right? I mean, you go to other countries, it's a lot worse, lot worse than it is here, a lot worse. I've heard stories that it's. I mean, you have a lot of monolithic ethnicities in certain countries, and they really do treat other races poorly. Um, there's a reason why I say that we should move past it, and it's because that personally I have. I'm rooting for Larry Davis. It has nothing to do with him being black at all, actually. It's everything to do with the content of his character and his
Because we know,
value. I wish that Democrats would do just the same thing. If you want to vote for a black man because that's your values, that's fine. I'm doing the same thing. But you should also look at the other side of the coin too and say if there's a white man that actually stands up for my values more so and that can provide me more resources and help my community more, then absolutely you should punch that button. We have got to get out of the mindset that race is inherently everything. It's not. It's just it's surface level. It quite literally is surface level. And that's what irked me the most when I saw Friday. It cut deep in my soul because I realized that people, that's all they care about. Like the questioning of the senators there, that's all they care about. It has nothing to do with their actual political beliefs or their morality or anything that actually means something. It's all surface level, and that's it. And it's really, really sad. It's a sad part. It's a sad place to be in, and I just really want people to look within themselves and say, "Am I actually doing that?" Because if I am, I got to change. I got to change myself because that is actually true racism. If you're not going to vote for a white man just because he's white, that is just as bad as a white man not voting for a black man because he's black. And we have got to get away from that.
I have voted for a lot of people who weren't white. I supported in 2012 initially Herman Cain for president. When he dropped out, I went to Newt Gingrich. I just was not a Romney fan. He was too moderate. I voted for Bobby Jindal for governor. Bobby Jindal wasn't white. He's Indian. I sent at the time because I had a young job. I sent $50 to Nikki Haley when she ran for governor of South Carolina or North Carolina, whichever one she was. She's not white. I have supported candidates who aren't white because they share my values.
I was going to support Vivek last time.
Yeah, and I love Vivek Ramaswamy. He's not white because he shares our values. That's why we can vote for candidates who have a different color skin than us because we share the same values. And that's what's most important because a lot of African Americans that I know are very pro-life. They're very much, and they vote Democrat. They're very much pro-life. They believe that life begins at conception. They believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. And these are staunch conservative values. And they're religious values. It's what's in this book, y'all. Because that's where my political beliefs come from.
Yep, that's exactly right.
It's what does this book say? Because at the end of the day, everything we do, we're going to have to answer for. And I firmly believe, and I pray that people see the light on this, but if you vote for someone who's going to kill more babies, you're going to have to everything you do, God watches. And you're going to have to give an account for everything that you do while you're here on this earth on Judgment Day. You're going to have, if you believe that abortion's wrong, but you vote for a candidate that's pro-abortion, you have just as much blood on your hands as someone who commits the abortion.
No,
I pray that these people who believe this seek the wisdom of the Scripture, and they turn away from doing these things, and they turn away from supporting candidates that don't believe what they believe. And I know a lot of people who are who say they're religious. Look at that Tallarico over in Texas.
Yeah.
He claims to be a Christian, but yet he's a progressive Christian. But he professes Christ, a gender neutral Christ, which I don't understand that. As a Christian who's teaches at church, I just don't get the whole progressive Christianity thing. But that's a different topic for a different day. But he believes in abortion. He believes in these quote unquote trans rights. He believes that you can take a child and change their sexuality and that they can transition. How is that Christian? How is that Christian? It's not. It's a slap in the face that everything is Christian. And being said that, this is what I'm going to be called. If we put this on TikTok, you're nothing more than a Christian nationalist. Yeah, I am. I make no bones about that. I am a Christian nationalist because I believe we are a Christian nation. And if you don't vote for the people who believe in this, you're just as wrong as those who reject this. And this right here, my friends, is eyewitness testimony of Jesus. In the court of law, eyewitness testimony is just as good as CCTV footage. And this is eyewitness testimony. This is what this is. And I believe it, every word. I don't think there's anything figurative. I don't believe there's things that's fake in the Bible. It's inspired. This book is inspired by the Holy Spirit. And the men that wrote it were inspired, who witnessed Jesus. Man, to witness Jesus in the flesh, I would love to see him in the flesh. But I have this book that I believe. And my politics, how I live, how I act, how I talk, I try to stem from this book because guess what? I want to go to heaven. I want to sit at the feet and worship Jesus for all eternity. And I don't want anything to jeopardize that. And that's why I live my life as close to Christ as possible. Because eternity is too important to miss out on. And that's why we try to alter our speech and not say bad words. That's why we try to live soberly and righteously. It's because the Bible says that we're to do that. And that's where my politics comes from. It has nothing to do with being right versus left. It comes from this. And to Republicans, if you ever go to a time to where we stop following this, I stopped being a Republican.
Yeah.
Because my eternity, my salvation, is way more important than me voting for a political party. And that's on Republicans too, putting you on notice as well. Once you stop changing, believing in this book, I'm out. I'm out.
Amen, brother. Amen on all of that.
So should
I
we
think
pass
it's
the
a good-
basket and take up a contribution?
Right. Well, I think ending on the word Jesus is a good ending to a negative. Talking about the negatives in our states and in our congressional districts.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the negativity, there's so many good positive things that's happening.
Right.
I don't remember if we've announced it in the show, but I've started an organization called Unashamed USA that Gabe and Coy and Justin are a part of with several others. And I'm really proud of the work that we've started doing to say, yes, I'm unashamed to be a Christian. Yes, I'm unashamed to be proud of my country. I mean, did you ever think you'd live in a time to where people weren't proud to be an American? It's a sad state of affairs, but all the positive work that we get to be a part of because of this organization, it's a wonderful thing, and we're actively working on stuff. We're wanting to do a conference next year and have these great speakers to come in to teach us to be unashamed. And Christ is going to be at the center of it. Nothing that I do is without Christ. I can't live my life without him. I just can't. And the organization It has nothing to do with politics. I just want to throw that out. Has absolutely nothing to do with politics. Has everything to do with Christianity and patriotism. And patriotism is not a monopoly with one party. I think you can be a patriot and love your country and still disagree on certain issues. So there's a lot of positive things. But ending on a lighter note, we're recording today on Sunday, 5/10, and today is Mother's Day. And I would be remiss if I did not wish a happy Mother's Day to all the moms. But to my mom especially, my mom, we didn't have the best situation when I was growing up. And I won't get into that because, I have a therapist for that. Y'all can laugh at that. It's okay. God, I feel like Jeb Bush going, "You can clap." Man, son, laugh. But I have a mom that not only took on the mom role, she had to take on the dad role with me and my brothers. And even further than that, I had aunts, my mom's sisters, who stepped up and helped raise me and my brothers. And I'm so thankful for their example. They are godly women who instilled in me and my brothers at a very young age this love of the church, this love for the scripture, this love for Jesus. And I am so blessed to have a mother like that because not everyone does. Not everyone has a good mom. And I'm especially blessed because I do. I have a great mom. I have great aunts. And I tell all my aunts, Happy Mother's Day. Today I took them to lunch because it's hard buying them stuff. So being able just to simply buy their meal for Mother's Day. And so, I want to just say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, especially to my mom, Tina. I love her to death. I would go to war for my mom. I'd go to jail for my mom. Almost had to a couple times. And I would defend my mom. That's my mom. I only get one. And I know one day she's not going to be here, but I'll have her example to look to. So just for me, Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out here. We love you. We respect the work that you do. Y'all work hard. And sometimes women who stay home and raise their kids work harder than men at a job. So if y'all want to say anything, guys, y'all can.
Okay. Now you don't want to talk.
It's okay to show a little bit of emotion.
I'll let Coy talk, and then I can wrap it up.
All right. Well, yeah, absolutely. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's my mom is an absolutely amazing woman. I mean, she instilled in me all the values that I have today, and I couldn't be here without her. I mean, I know that I could call her in any moment, and she'll answer. And or she'll call me, and I call her literally right back, and she won't answer. I don't know if y'all have the same problem. It's absolutely
Every
ridiculous.
time.
I don't know what that is, but it drives me up a wall. But I love her anyway. She had my brother when she was 15 years old, and showed me what true strength looks like. Staying in there, not aborting her kid, showing what true family and strength looks like. I am everything because of my parents, and especially my mom. I could not be here and have the diligence and the inept aptitude that I have today without her. So, yeah. Love you, Mom.
Well, I'll make a shout out to my mother, Miss Inez. You two know her very well. Y'all two have dealt with her positively or felt her wrath in one way, mainly Parker. Like Parker deals with her wrath more than anything else.
I get hit with hula hoops.
I don't know. I've said a few jokes about you. She's gotten on me for.
Oh yeah. She loves all you guys. She loves Coy and Justin and Parker, and she always asks about you guys. And she's basically like the mom of a lot of my friend groups. It seems like, and it seems like with us, she's kind of like the mom. She's always asking. She's always talking about the podcast with friends, and she always talks about, hey, like, what's Coy up to? Well, how's he doing? How's Justin? He's always making sure they're okay. And overall, I mean, she's my anchor, and she's my rock. She keeps me grounded. She keeps me humble, very humble throughout. She ego checks me all the time, but She's a fighter. She is the heart of our family. She is the social butterfly of our family, and without her personality, I wouldn't be the way I am today. I take great pride in appearance and the way I show off myself, and that's because of my mother. My mother has always told me that first impressions and the way you present yourself is everything. It is, especially in politics. Right? You want to be presented off in a positive light and not in a negative light. And throughout my entire life, she's always been there since to always cheer me up. She's been our number one cheerleader. She's always been supporting my career ambitions in both politics and flying and college and high school and everything she's done. And she's always been there. But for today, I love her so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the other mothers out there, to all our friends' moms, to Parker's mom, Coy's mom. And my mom, she's coming back right now from Dallas. She was in Italy and Greece and Turkey the past 2 weeks.
I know.
I know.
My mom was at the beach today. Like,
right. It's like, yeah, leave us, man. So I'm excited to see her tonight. So after this episode is posted, she'll be home, and I can celebrate my Mother's Day with her. So,
Gabe, let me share my favorite Inez story. And I say this a lot, and I try to make it sound like she abused me, but she didn't, guys. I just want to say this. It was my first time.
You deserve it sometimes.
Shut up.
Deserve it.
Shut up, Gabe. I'm talking. I got the talking stick. No. It was my first time riding in the Crew of Centaur Parade. And that's how I got to know Gabe, is because his mom and dad are on my float. His dad is the float lieutenant. So I get to see his parents a whole lot. Because we're constantly doing stuff with the crew. We're constantly working on the float. And your mom is currently a Duchess, so she gets to, at all the events. So it was my first year riding. I had no clue what to expect, had no idea. It was a horrible... Gabe, did you ride with us that year when we did Doctor Who?
I believe so. Was it raining?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'm losing memories.
No, that was when we did the first year for the European vacation. Was when it was
I don't
raining.
recall.
Yeah, anyway, so the float was horrible. I mean, you could smell smoke when it turned. It was the worst float. It was a temporary float because they were building the one we're on now. So I was just throwing beads and stuff, just having a great time. And there was a little bit of wind, so Inez threw a hula hoop. And it didn't go all the way, and it hit me right in the back of the head. And I turn and look at it, and she goes, "I'm sorry, Parker, I'm sorry." So I tell everyone, Inez Freeman abuses me.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Inez.
Is it deserved? Yeah, I think so. I think Parker Ward getting back in the hula hoops is always a great sight for a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
I bet the Democrats would pay loads of money to see Parker Ward get hit by a hula hoop.
Not just Democrats. There's some Republicans that would pay that too.
Oh,
I
yeah,
promise
no
you.
doubt. No doubt.
I have a really strong, deep bench when it comes to enemies. I promise you. This loud mouth doesn't shut up, and I just say what I think sometimes, and it gets me in trouble. Right. So I've gotten better with age. When I was younger, I was called the fire starter. I'd start the fire and then leave the room. I've gotten better with age, so whatever. But I didn't deserve it. I got hit with a hula hoop and a couple of cups, the plastic Mardi Gras cups, the fine china. And so, but no, Inez is a great mom. I love Inez. She's one of my closest friends. I consider his family part of my family, because we see each other a lot, and Gabe can contest to this. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I see the people on our float more than some of my family members. So we're very close. I mean, we have a group chat that's constantly going off because we love communicating with each other, and we have a special mascot that I can't do. That's the float, and Gabe knows exactly what it is. So we're a close group that just we love each other, and it's a great group. But happy Mother's Day, and remember, tell someone about Jesus. I think that's the most important thing I can tell anyone this week. Tell someone about Jesus, and remember, May 16th, go and vote. Make sure your voice is heard. Everyone can vote. No one's going to be stopped. So make sure you go vote. May 16th, this coming Saturday, 1 week from yesterday.
The Senate and the Supreme Court elections are not canceled, so go and vote.
Public Service Commissioner as well.
And Public Service Commissioner, yes.
So we have races, and then we have amendments that are on the ballot. 5 amendments that's on the ballot statewide. So go vote. Make sure your voice is heard. Go to the polls. And with that, I just want to say thank you all so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate your feedback. And we appreciate you watching these videos and listening to us and laughing with us and getting angry with us. And we appreciate it. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. So until we meet again, may God bless you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.